All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the March 4th Board of Education meeting. It is approximately 6 p.m. The board is gathered in our leadership conference room at 60 Western Street at the district's administrative offices for the purpose of making a motion to go into executive session to discuss the review of tenure proposals, to discuss a property lease extension matter, confidential student information, and student safety matters, among other items, including personnel matters, including compensation of cabinet members. So with that said, I'll take a motion to go into executive session to discuss those topics. Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions on the exec session agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we anticipate returning at approximately 7:30 p.m. Thank you. Everyone, welcome to our March 4th Board of Education meeting. We have a few wonderful presentations. Before we begin, just want to make a statement that the public portion of our board meeting is now reconvened. We previously met at 6 p.m. to vote to go into executive session, and now we're going back into public. I'll take a motion to close exec session. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next I will ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, it's standing room only crowd, so I will turn the program over to our Countrywood principal, Mr. Mitch Levy, to introduce World Language Month. Mr. Levy.
All right, good evening, Mr. Ciapetta, Dr. D'Elia, members of the Board of Education, cabinet members, and guests. We are excited to be here this evening to showcase some of Countrywood's talented students in recognition of National World Language Month, celebrated each March. Our kindergarten dual language students are here to perform songs that they have been practicing. After their performance, and once they exit the risers, students from our after-school theater program will take the stage to share a song from their upcoming production of Bugs. We're extremely proud of our dual language program here in South Huntington. Our students have the opportunity to learn core subjects in both English and Spanish. While we often celebrate students who are nearing the end of their academic journeys, tonight we're highlighting students whose journeys are just beginning. The students before you represent all 4 of our kindergarten dual language classes. They've been working hard with their teachers, Ms. Mimas, Ms. Pinzone, Ms. Rodriguez, and Ms. Sanchez, to prepare these songs. If you can't read their shirts from where you're seated, they say, "Learn a language, share a culture, change the world," a message that perfectly reflects the spirit of National World Language Month. This evening, they will be singing "Hello to All the Children of the World" and "Under the Same Sun." At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Pinzone, Ms. Sanchez, and Ms. Rodriguez to share a few words.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent D'Elia, and South Huntington families and friends. My name is Sonia Pinzon, and I am joined by my colleagues, Ms. Maria Rodriguez Canizales and Ms. Sanchez. We are honored to represent our 3 kindergarten dual language classrooms tonight as part of World Languages celebration. We believe that South Huntington School District, our diversity is our greatest strength. We are currently ranked the 26th most diverse school district out of 609 school districts in the state of New York. Wow. This diversity is evident in our hallways, which are live with the sounds of Spanish, Urdu, Haitian Creole, Chinese, Turkish, and many other languages.
Good evening, everyone. Our dual language program is the heartbeat of this diverse community. The shirts we are wearing today share a simple but powerful message: learn a language, share a culture, change the world. These students aren't just learning vocabulary, they are building the empathy and skills needed to lead in a multicultural future. To show you exactly what this sounds like, our students have prepared 2 special selections. First, they will sing "Hello to All the Children of the World." Following that, they will perform a bilingual version of "Under the Same Sun," "Bajo el Mismo Sol." A beautiful reminder that despite our different languages, we all share the same sky and the same wildcat pride.
Thank you.
I don't need a microphone.
Wow.
No, she doesn't.
This is a celebration, so please don't feel like you have to sit quietly. We invite you to clap, sing, and even dance along with them. And without further ado, here are our dual language kindergarten stars. So stand up, here we go.
Hello, bonjour, buenos dias. Good day, guten Tag, konnichiwa. Ciao, shalom, dobre dien. Hello to all the children of the world. We live in different places from all around the world. We speak in many different ways. Though some things might be different, we're children just the same. And we all like to sing and play. Hello to all the children of the world. Hello to all the children of the world. Hello to all the children of the world.
All right, guys, ready? Shake and bake. One time and that's it, okay? Mommies, daddies, you better be clapping.
Love celebration, no matter where you came from. We're all under the same sun y bajo el mismo sol. No shade, no hate, and uniting every nation. We're all under the same sun y bajo el mismo sol. No matter where you came from, we're all under the same sun y bajo el mismo sol. No shade, no hate, and uniting every nation. We're all under the same sun y bajo el mismo sol. Bajo el mismo sol. No shade, no hate, and uniting every nation. We're all under the same sun y bajo el mismo sol. Bajo el mismo sol.
You did it, guys. Amazing. And even with the snow days, we practiced. All right, guys. Follow that. Good job.
Good job. Well done.
What do you say we give them another round of applause? That was fantastic. All right, now we have a little transition. We have our second grade theater students coming in, so they're going to be walking into lining up. Mr. Levy just went to go get them. So, please welcome, let's give them a round of applause, our second grade theater students. We are so excited at Countrywood and Oakwood and all through the district to offer a theater program that begins in kindergarten, fostering a love of the arts at such an early age. Each year the program grows and it continues to grow in popularity. We are now able to host 2 separate groups, thank you very much, every Tuesday and Thursday to accommodate as many students as possible. This theater program not only builds essential life skills by turning creative play into a path to build confidence, empathy, and literacy skills. The students learn to speak clearly, work as a team, and express themselves with pride. Look at these smiles. They're so excited. So this evening, they will be singing Going on a Picnic from their upcoming show, Bugs. And thank you to Miss Layer, Miss Workman, and Miss Vengroff for all of their hard work. Throughout the week, every day, they're there, they're working on the costumes and the stage, and it's just such a wonderful production that we have. So we would like to introduce our second grade theater students.
Hope you enjoy our show. It's the best we ever will have.
Yeah. I've never seen that many people, right? No. Yeah, right. I never expected that many people. That was good, yeah. Yeah. All right, we're back. I think that was fantastic. Everyone agrees. That was amazing. What a great way to start the meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Levy and Ms. Jenga. That was terrific, as well as our teachers and students. That was unbelievable. That was so much fun. Also fun is our next presentation. Little older kids who just recently went on a trip to Germany, among other countries. And to introduce that, I'd like to bring up Nicole Hanovich and Nicole Costanza. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I'm Nicole Costanza, and I was just lucky enough to take 27 students to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland with a surprise stop in Liechtenstein. And I was blown away by these kids once again. Last year we went to Italy, and we had a bunch of repeats, and these students are just phenomenal, and we got to experience so much, so I figured it'd be best to hear from them. So if you guys want to come up, come right over here. We'll go through our slideshow. We'll be
Nice.
quick, I promise. I know we're
fun.
not as cute as the little kids,
Nah, you're.
but they're cute, I promise. Okay? All right, so Daisy, you're up first.
Hi, my name is Daisy, and I'll be presenting our first day of the trip, which was Rothenburg, Germany. It was this very beautiful medieval town with cobblestone roads and like walls around the city and medieval houses. We went into a beautiful church with very nice stained glass and beautiful architecture. And we did this really cool tour around the top of the city walls for like 30 minutes. And then we had a really nice lunch, and it was an amazing day, to be honest. Do I hit it? Okay, perfect. Hi, my name is Sarah. And my name's Sophia. And we're going to be talking about Dachau, which happened on the second day of our trip. So we went to the Dachau concentration camp, and it was a very interesting experience because it was really cool to like learn about everything in school, but then seeing it in person and being at the memorial and going through the museum at the beginning was very like, it was kind of like an out-of-body experience. It was very interesting.
I walked around the camp for a bit, and being in that situation where all of the prisoners were, it was really surreal. Again, like what Sarah said, hearing about it in the classroom and being there in real life is such a different experience. It's insane. I almost put myself in their shoes, and I was reading their stories and almost teared up a little bit. It was a very surreal experience, and I'm very glad I got to experience it.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Hannah.
And on day 3, we went to Munich. We started in Marienplatz, which is like a very important historical plaza. There we did some shopping and we walked around. We went to some beautiful churches, and we had some really good food as well. Like those really good donuts and pretzels up there, those are really good.
And also in Munich, we had like a bus tour, which was really nice because we just got like a calming glimpse of different sites throughout the city. And also while we were in Munich, it was Mardi Gras, so we really felt like a part of their culture and like involved in their celebration while we were there.
Nice.
Hello, I am Nick, and on our fourth day, we went to Neuschwanstein and Hohenschwangau Castle,
Wow.
and we only hiked up to Neuschwanstein. It was a really lovely hike, and we actually got to go inside Hohenschwangau Castle. It had a lot of beautiful artifacts in it. Like this one shield was really cool, and like a lot of gold in there. And there was many paintings of like biblical events that were commissioned by the king. I believe it was Maximilian, and his wife Queen Marie, which it was kind of like their summer castle vacation house.
Amazing.
On our fifth day, we went to Innsbruck, Austria. It was so much fun. We explored 2 different churches, Baroque and Gothic style, which we also learn in the classroom, so it's really cool to place it to what we learn in the classroom. We also went to the famous Golden Roof, which is in that last photo, and it was just really cool to see. And we also explored the tomb of Maximilian, although he wasn't really there. It was really cool to see. There was lots of statues of past rulers there as well. And it was very, like, it felt almost fake because the mountains were surrounding the city. It felt like you were closed in, but it was really cool.
Great trip.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I'll be representing Liechtenstein. So a little fact about it, it actually borders between Switzerland and Austria. But to be honest, it was more like a rest stop for us, but it was still cool to see because you could technically say we've been to 4 countries in one trip. That's it.
Okay, I'm Eva Oliveri, and I'll be talking about Switzerland. So in Switzerland, we went to Mount Platus and Lucerne. So we started our morning going up Mount Platus, which was gorgeous. We took a gondola to the top of the mountain, and we had lunch up there. And then we came down and saw all the views, and there was a lake, and it was gorgeous. And then we spent our afternoon in Lucerne, and we got to see the famous lion statue, and that was built to honor Swiss guards that got killed during the French Revolution, so that was really cool. And Lucerne also had the oldest walking bridge in Europe, which is in the bottom picture. So it had a lot of good history there, and that was really cool to see.
Do you know how old that bridge was, or? Good answer.
Hello, I'm Jillian, and we were lucky enough to spend half of our last day in Freiburg, Germany, and overall it was just an amazing experience. We weren't originally supposed to go there, but I'm so happy we did. We visited a really beautiful Gothic church, and we were able to spend time in like a farmer's market and kind of just explore the city, which was really nice because it was almost just like we were locals in the area. And it's just nice being on a trip like this because everything I'm learning in AP Art History, I see it in person here.
And then finally, we made it to our last stop in Heidelberg. It was a couple hours out from Friedberg. We got to see Heidelberg Castle, walked around the town square, had a very like old town feel. We got some crepes. It was really fun. And overall, this trip was amazing. So, yeah.
Great.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Hanovich and I was one of the chaperones on the trip, and I'm here to talk about how amazing our students were throughout this whole time. They really represented South Huntington in the best light possible. They were so respectful of all cultures, they were so appreciative, and I know I would like to speak on behalf of them and of all of the chaperones, including Miss Christine Scharf over there, that all of this is possible due to the amazing and hard work of Ms. Costanza, who put this whole trip together and did such a beautiful job for all of us to enjoy. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm back again because I'm just warning you that next year you'll be seeing shortly, I'll be requesting permission to go to Lisbon and Spain with the students again. For this trip, it's a lot of the same. It's art, it's history, it's culture, it's a lot of food, and it'll be great. And that's exactly what they'll talk about next year, about all the food that they ate. But really, these experiences are so great, so thank you guys so much for approving this. My students, you are wonderful and amazing. My chaperones, Miss Morgan is not here tonight, but she was also with us. You guys are awesome and also make this so possible. I would probably lose my mind without them. So it was really great, and thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for chaperoning and sharing your experience with us. We love seeing, and we got another trip to approve tonight to Greece. So, plenty of great stuff. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to our work session. So feel free to head out. You don't have to stay. Poor Mr. Conway always has a tough act to follow.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm stuck with the privilege of following difficult acts night after night, but it leads well into the first slide, which is the fiscal philosophy of the district. The key focus of the board has been for many years, as well as Dr. D'Elia and everyone else really in this room, is to deliver opportunities for these students that are really second to none. And I think both from the little guys up through the high school, we're really showing what the purpose of these budget work sessions are for. It's to give them these opportunities to really learn and see things that probably most of us never saw at that age. So that's pretty exciting stuff. To do that, we also have to obviously be mindful of resources, fiscal responsibility, and of course the taxpayer. Tonight we're going to speak a little bit about the tax levy, the tax cap if we can call it. It's essentially a formula-based calculation that the result of which dictates what the Board of Education in any school district could legally request from the taxpayers. It's sometimes referred to as the 2% tax cap. That can be misleading because you can be compliant within the formula, yet you can actually, your number could be greater than the 2%. We'll get into some of the components in a few minutes. And what it does do, like I mentioned a moment ago, is allow the board to set a levy, which they'll put forth, but it has nothing to do with the assessed values or the tax rate each homeowner may ultimately pay. That itself comes from the town. Looking up here, just to give some history in terms of dollars and percentage. So in each of these years, just for example, in 2021, a levy of 2.33% equated to $2.7 million in that year. And going down to the bottom, you'll see most recently a 2.2 levy was around 2.7 or $2.8 million of new money to the district. Okay, what I'd like to show with this slide here is really the growth in the history as far as what the Board of Education has done, as what the maximum allowable was in each of those years. If you follow that blue line, that is the maximum levy per the formula in each of the years going back to 2021. And the red line on the bottom part of the screen is what the board chose to levy in each of those years. And what that really shows in a nutshell is years and years of track record where the board is very mindful of taxpayer dollars and what they're looking to levy. And it's really the theme of they've always asked for what they wanted or what we needed rather versus what they could have. I mean, we could have been at that blue line, but again, the board is conscientious of everyone's wallet at home. The tax-based growth factor, this slide here, yeah, what's up there? It really, that is a component of the factor, the formula rather, which looks for new growth and development. It could be things like new construction, change in existing property status. And you'll see going back here all the way to 2021, the number itself is barely greater than 1. We're a well-developed area, so we're not expecting to see any major, large numbers there because it has been pretty stable in terms of development. This next component is the inflation factor. This is where the term 2% comes from. And in the formula, we're limited to either the lesser of 2% or CPI. So if you look at that chart to the right, in those top 2 years, 2021, 21, 22, obviously back in those years, we were still kind of within COVID. That was around 1.25% to 1.8%. More recently, those last 5 years presented, the formula has been showing 2%. So I'll show later on, that's not to say inflation was 2% in those years, but the formula is limiting us in each of those years to use the 2%. Taking a glimpse forward to what 26, 27 is shaping up to look like. Right now, the maximum allowable cap for us next year is standing at 2.437. Again, slightly over 2%, but within the formula. And should the board decide to levy that number, it would equate to roughly $3.1 million of new money. And the board will be discussing and setting a levy at a very soon meeting, probably, I believe it's the next meeting. The allowable levy growth factor in the formula. So this is just another graph. We wanted to illustrate a couple things. That red line is the allowable growth factor in the formula. So you'll see it never goes above 2. A few years early on, it was slightly below that. But more importantly, the blue number is the real world inflation. So going back to 2012, all the way around through 2020, those numbers, the red and blue dots, are pretty tightly correlated. You're not seeing a whole lot of fluctuation. But in the more recent years, you'll obviously see the blue line, the real world inflation, spike quite a bit. Yes, it's come down from that peak of 8%, but still significantly higher than the red line, which we are allowed to use in the formula. And the difficulty, again, for any school district, not just ours, is the blue line is what we're looking at in terms of purchasing items. That's the real costs we're paying for items. Yet the red line is limiting our revenue source. So just a point of distinction to mention that. Going over some of the exclusions to the formula. Oftentimes it's these items which could allow you to exceed the 2% cap. A couple of them in no particular order is pension increases greater than 2%. So that could be our ERS or our TRS expenditures. And if those percentages year over year change by greater than 2%, it could be an exclusion. That does not apply for 26, 27. Then we have capital expenditures net of aid. That's our transfer to capital. We have things like our debt service, which is previously committed to principal and interest payments, as well as bus purchases and then installment purchases. Switching gears over to fund balance, and then on the next slide, it's going to be some reserves. So essentially, fund balance is your unassigned savings account, your rainy day fund. It's limited by statute to be no more than 4% of the subsequent year's budget. And the beauty of it is, as you have that number, that balance rather, you're allowed to use a piece of that, if you choose, into the subsequent year's budget. So rather than levy additional money, you can offer to put that as a plug, if you will, towards the revenue side of the budget. And in the current year we're living in, we've put $2.79 million of that fund balance towards this year's budget that we're living in. As of June of 25, we are at that 4%, which is a good sign of our fiscal health. And touching briefly on our reserves, similar in concept to the fund balance and the fact that it's a savings account, except with these, they are earmarked for a particular purpose. So I'll give you an example. If you have money in an ERS reserve, that can only be spent on an ERS expenditure in a future year. And the way money goes into either the reserves or the fund balance would be if you have in a given year, your expenses come in under budget, or maybe you get some revenue windfalls. It's that or either of those scenarios which could lead you the opportunity to put money into the reserves and or fund balance. And these two can help you to decrease the future levy in the next year's budget. This year is just meant to give you, that's a little tough to read, 5-year history of reserves and fund balance. So from left to right, on the left column, we have each of the reserves, the ERS, TRS, so on and so forth. And then from left to right, that's our June 30th balance from our audited financial in each of the years. And then on the bottom part of the screen, we'll see our assigned appropriated balance. What that is if we have purchase orders open at the end of June in a given year, and either the goods or services were not received or performed, you're allowed to roll that purchase order into the future year. That's what that line represents. The next one is your assigned appropriated fund balance. That's the number I mentioned a moment ago where you can use it in a future year's budget. And if you look off to the right, you'll see that $2.79 million I mentioned a few slides back. And then you'll see the unassigned fund balance. That's the 4% number as well. So if you focus really on the last two columns between June of '24 and June of '25, we saw an uptick overall of around just shy of $10 million. And that's made up of a couple components, both on the expense side as well as the revenue. So expense side, we were able to realize some savings on BOCES, contract transportation, utilities. Then there were various contractual costs, then things like benefits, workers' comp, social security, things of that nature. And on the revenue side, we were able to pick up a few wins as well. We saw some increased billings in health to other districts for services we provided. Interest income was a little better than budgeted. We had insurance recoveries. We also were able to pick up and recognize energy performance contract rebates last year. And then we had, again, some other health insurance incentives and slightly better on state aid. And this next slide is just, oh, hold on, this one here. Just meant to briefly be a visual representation of the figures we just went over on the prior slide. Looking forward to the 26-27 state aid proposal. So these numbers here on the screen are based on the governor's proposed numbers back in January. We would expect the legislative budget figures to be available probably mid to late April. And it's expected and very likely that we will see somewhat of a difference between these two sets of numbers. But for now, this is what we're going to share with you is foundation aid of $58.7 million. That's roughly a $580,000 increase year over year, just about 1%. And as we spoke to at the last meeting, it appears for 26-27, South Huntington, as well as a lot of our surrounding neighbors, are going to be on Save Harmless. So that's just a point worth noting. Then we have expense-based aids of $19.1 million and the UPK aid of $1.3 million. And that number I've said in the past, that's really a grant separate from the day-to-day operations of the district and nothing to do with the budget that's going before the voters in a couple months. Within the budget for next year, at this point, we're looking to spend approximately $1.6 million for the purchase of new buses. That would be around 10. And the layout of the fleet right now, we would be looking to add one van, one 66-passenger bus, 3 45-passenger buses, and 5 72-passenger buses. And the overall theme the last few years with these bus purchases has been, number one, to keep our fleet current, to aim to take routes back little by little each year from our vendor. And by doing so, we're able to save money on the vendor side, as well as service the routes and our students with our own employees and staff. And a long-term goal for the district, hopefully sooner rather than later, would be to eventually take back all in-district routes from our vendor and just have to rely on them for the private and parochial schools, and we do all of our in-district runs ourselves. District goals, I'll briefly speak to these. We've had these up in the past, but they still remain true. Overall goals of the board, as well as the cabinet and Dr. D'Elia, are to continuously strive for excellence. We see the opportunities we're giving the students, and that's what our goal is, to push them to really find what motivates them and what drives them. In part is doing that is giving them the learning opportunities as well as opportunities to help them with social and emotional health if need be, to identify and close achievement gaps if and where they may exist, and review and enhance academic programs. That's a constant focus of the team. You'll see at last month's meeting when they discussed AI and where that's going in the future. So we're always trying to stay 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of the curve to really keep them on top of where the future is going to be. To do that, we have to obviously be fiscally sustainable. You want to be mindful of your balance sheet as well as the taxpayer. And last but not least, of course, the facilities as well as safety measures for the district to give it an exciting and inviting campus for overall for the employees as well as the students. Last but not least, I will leave you with the slide here with the upcoming work sessions, and I'll leave it with any questions for the board. No?
Mr. Conway, great job. There's some interesting slides in there that I hadn't presented that way before, so thank you. Good job. They'll give him a round of applause. Yeah. All right, we'll move on to our business agenda today. I will take a motion to adopt the agenda. Mr. Joyner, second. Ms. Clark. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Items E through H require one resolution for adoption. Is there a motion? Ms. LaCara, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions on E through H? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, communications. We have quite a bit of communications since the last meeting. Everybody's writing to us. Interesting. Our first communication is an invite to the ACT SAT Scholar Breakfast. Dr. Murphy, you'd like to address that?
Yes, every year we hold a scholarship breakfast called the ACT Scholar Breakfast. It identifies students that have achieved high level of the SAT and ACT. Something we brought, I think it's our 9th year of doing it. There'll be 47 students, seniors that are going to be honored this year. It's an opportunity to spend a long time within their educational career to be able to get to this level, and it's a nice way to be able to say, rather than just giving them an award or a certificate, to say thank you and also spend some time with the family. So we're looking forward, and we hope that the board and cabinet can come and attend with us so that we can join in the festivities with all these wonderful young adults.
Great, thank you, Dr. Murphy, for the invite. We have a communication from your assistant principal, Dr. Kendall Richards, expressing appreciation for attendance at the Black History Month program on February 12th. It was an excellent event, very well attended. We have an email communication from a resident regarding consistency in district recognition of cultural and religious observances. Is the parent like to address that email here? Let's see her. Okay. Moving on to item number 4, we received an email communication from a parent regarding the district's AI presentation. Anyone here to address that? Yes, would you like to come up?
Hello, long time no see. Yeah, I just sent an email. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to give the Cliff Notes version if that's okay.
Can you just say your name for the minutes, please?
For Courtney Enderly.
Thank you.
I watched the presentation about the AI and the curriculum, and I'm dumb to all of that. So I had some questions, and I fired off an email like I always do. My 2 main questions were just if the district had done any research about our environmental footprint that using AI would use. With 30 kids per classroom, all these programs. And then my second question was just pertaining to the safety and the privacy of our students online, not only using the programs, but like bullying and prevention and everything. And I got to come in on Friday and meet with Ms. Kavanaugh and Dr. Hender, and Dr. Rice was there. And we chatted about a lot of different stuff, and I got to learn about the laws that the district has, well, the state has about everything, and different standards, I guess, that our district has when it comes to before we use a program and everything. And I appreciated the conversation. I was able to just kind of express how like confusing and overwhelming learning all these programs are. Like, I'm trying to worry about dinner and getting to baseball practice, and now I need to figure out what a gym kit is and if Prodigy is a spirit day or like a program or any of that stuff. And I did leave with one suggestion, which I hope maybe we can do someday. It's just like a more informal type of like parent Q&A discussion, because like the Stream Saturday is coming up, but a lot of times we have our kids with us and we can't ask like the really important questions on how are you preventing bullying, and I noticed this and I noticed that in these programs, and we get distracted when the kids are running around trying out all these different things. So I'm really hopeful that maybe in the future that there could be, coming here and asking questions and sending emails. Sometimes you don't even know where to send a question to, but if there was something that the district could do, just kind of low key, a couple parents could come in and get to know the programs a little bit better. I feel like that would make a lot of parents understand things a little bit better when it comes to the programs, because we're lost. So that's all I have.
Is that something we can do, you think?
Yeah, we can have. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's really hard to get to these things on Saturdays. It's right in the middle of the day, and like I said, when we've got the kids with them, we can't really focus on like what we're doing. We don't often think of the questions or like. I got my kid here tonight, so I really can't ask any of the other questions.
The world is changing so fast with
It is.
technology.
It's hard for us to keep up. So
it is, and for all of us too.
Right.
And we do it as for a living. So
Right.
I definitely think we can offer Q&A to parents
Yeah.
in the future. Absolutely, information is power. We got great people. Ms. Kavanaugh,
Yeah.
Dr. Rice, Dr. Henry. I know you had a great meeting with them last week.
Yeah, it was
But I
really
know there was a
nice.
lot of good information, and we'd be willing to share that great
Right,
information.
you know,
We're
like I
not trying
said-
to hide anything.
No,
You know,
no, but
just-
a lot of times, we have questions and like we don't really know where to go
Mm-hmm.
with the questions that we have regarding the programs and stuff. You know, I don't have a problem sending off an email to anyone and everyone,
send me an
but that
email
some people aren't
anytime.
like that, you know. And
Yeah.
so I think that if there could just be like a more casual type of way for us to get to know the programs, I think that would be beneficial to the parents.
Okay,
That's
great.
it.
Let's do it.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay,
No
thank you.
problem.
Yeah, things are changing fast in this area. All of a sudden, my Gmail now summarizes the email for me automatically. Like, I can't read the email, but, you know. So, yeah, it's just, but, yeah, it's changing. This is a new way, so. Okay, great. Thank you for your correspondence. All right. Moving on to item number 5, we have an email communication that we received from a resident regarding school construction. Is that resident here to address that? Okay. Moving on to item number 6, we have an email communication from an employee regarding retirement incentives. Is that employee here to address that? No? Okay, moving along. We had a lot. Item 7 was email communication from a resident regarding the district's partnership with Life Touch Photography. Anyone want to address that? We received next a letter from Robert Scheid, and Jeanette Santos. Those are communications 8 and 9 regarding their candidacy for the Western Suffolk BOCES Board of Education. And we have an accompanying resolution on our agenda for that tonight. Our next piece of correspondence came from Dr. Murphy regarding the 5th annual Muslim Student Association Annual Unity Day. Dr. Murphy.
Yes, it is something, it's completely student created. Our Muslim Student Association a couple of years back did something to become more inclusive with our community being so we're so diverse. They started inviting other districts so that they can share in the differences of religion as well as customs. It's something we're kind of a 5th year. It started as our class, or our school, just our students. It became then 2 schools. We're now up to 10 schools, and now we have various superintendents in the Department of Education, deputy superintendents, all coming to be able to share in this. We're doing a symposium. We're hosting about 300 students. We'd love for the Board of Education or for a cabinet to come and join us. It's become really a nice event and a feather in the cap of the district, because every time some students come here or other administrators come here, they look and see what we do and what we're able to accomplish in our district. And that really is a culmination of all the work of everybody here and all the teachers and students to make sure that this is an inviting place.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. This is really a model program that we started, and we've been very well recognized for it. Our students have presented in the city, and I believe we won an award last year for it, so thank you for that communication invitation. And our last communication is an email communication from Shannon Gansey, the marching band, inviting the board to the St. Patrick's Day Parade to march. And the information is on Sunday, the parade drop-off is at the Huntington train station. We don't have to worry about that, but step-off, one of my favorite parade terms, 2 o'clock, and conclusion of the parade, 3:45. It is a long parade, but a very popular parade. And just to go back to email communication 5, I misspoke. I said email communication regarding school construction. There's actually multiple communications regarding school construction. This is I'll just take a moment on it. This is a very hotly contested item right now. This has to relate to the project labor agreement bills that are pending in Albany. Senate Bill 1672, Assembly Bill 756. This has gotten a lot of attention. The New York State School, the National Suffolk School Boards Association has opposed this. The Superintendent's Association has also been in opposition. There's a lot of union interest in these, we're kind of caught in the middle on this. We're just really don't take a position on project labor agreements in general, but we think we need to know more information on them. Would suggest a study. Does it save money or does it not? If it saves money, that's great. But this is definitely a hotly contested issue. Unfortunately, in some places, it's turned very aggressive and even disruptive. There was a legislative breakfast over at Longwood School District a couple weeks ago, and the students were presenting to their local legislative officials, and there was quite a bit of activity outside, protesting and picketing, and it did get almost out of control, and the police had to be called. So those things shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? I think, the email says, honest school construction. We should have an honest conversation on this, and to know that, we really need to know the facts. There's conflicting reports on it. There's a New Jersey Department of Labor study that says that project labor agreements cost 30% more. This email is a form email, and I actually went to the website yesterday, which is schoolconstructioncorruption.org, and they say that they will not cost more money, so I really think it'd be best for the New York State to do a study on this so that we get some actual data on it and that we're informed about it. There's a lot of bold assertions in these letters. I can say that, the school construction corruption, we have not seen any corruption. I mean, I think we can say that's false. There's also things that are saying that the projects are shoddy work and they have to be consistently redone. We have not seen that at all. Our projects have come in generally on time, on budget, and well constructed. So we continue to monitor this, but this seems to be the hot button issue in Albany for this year, and there's a lot of competing voices. All right, moving on to new business. New business item number 1, contract extension for student transportation services for the 26-27 school year. Motion. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight, for the board's approval, is a request to extend the current contract the district has with our contract transportation provider, currently Educational Bus Transportation, under the current terms of the RFP, which was awarded on April of 2024. The extension would call for the same terms and conditions, and they're willing to renew a Consumer Price Index, CPI, for the next school year.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. Any questions? All in favor? Oh, thank you. Mr. Conway.
I'll be doctor for a day, that's all right.
All in favor? Any opposed? I was thinking of the next item on the agenda because I know that's exciting to Dr. Murphy, so. But that's great that they're holding it at CPI because some districts are not getting CPI. In fact, some districts are getting 20% increases, so knock on wood. I don't know if this is wood, but. Moving on to item number 2, approval of a contract for the Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps Unit. Motion. Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Ms. Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval tonight, we have a request to submit an application to the U.S. Army to establish a JROTC program at Walt Whitman High School aimed at fostering leadership, citizenship, and academic achievement. The proposal has undergone an extensive review by district administration and the Curriculum Council to ensure that it aligns to our educational objectives and meets logistical requirements. The district has selected the subsidized program model, which significantly offsets costs for instructors, uniforms, materials through federal funding, ensuring minimal impact on the local operating budget. A comprehensive application and a district-specific addendum has been created, which clarifies operational agreements regarding equipment like drones and have been reviewed and approved by both district and Army legal counsel after an extensive process. A typical waiting period is approximately 2 years. Therefore, the earliest possible that this program would launch here in South Huntington would be the 27-28 school year. However, it could potentially be the following year. And a thank you to Dr. Murphy and his team for researching and advocating for this incredible program for our students.
Thank you, Ms. Kavanaugh, and thank you, Dr. Murphy. I know that's near and dear to your heart, and hopefully it will be 27-28. Questions? Yes, Mr. Bronson.
Not a question, but a comment, just for I think for the public's awareness, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think unlike some programs, this is a program about, leadership and development. It does not require any enlistment or commitment. It's just in case any of the members of the public were wondering that.
No, it is obviously, the program itself would be optional and voluntary for our students. It's not a requirement, but it would meet a lot of our criteria for leadership components and character building. This is something that actually yields few students that end up going into the military based on our research, but it is an opportunity for them to be a part of something like this when they're in our schools.
Is there a maximum number of students for it?
There's a minimum number of
Minimum.
students that we need to work our way up to, so that's something that they do give you a grace period to work your way to that component. It's a percentage of your student population, and so we would have time to build that over the first few years of the program. They're not coming on site within the first 2 years to 3 years to even look at the program. They're giving you time to get it off the ground.
And how is the student's academic day structured?
So it would be a period of their day essentially, and so we would look at, some of the courses that they would take. It could replace a standing course, for example, like a PE, or something related to leadership, which would be core components of that program. Then there's also extracurricular activities that could go along with it that we've been in discussions with them about.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Kavanaugh, for your work on that. All right. Moving on to item number 3, approval of an out-of-country field trip. Motion. Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Ms. Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Ziapetta, for the board's approval tonight. As we have seen this evening already, out-of-country field trips provide a remarkable opportunity for our students to explore the world and experience other cultures and historical sites, bringing to life many of the topics that we discuss in our classrooms every day. Tonight, we have a request for approval for an out-of-country field trip to Greece next April, the 16th to the 24th. This trip is being organized by Ms. April Kaufman with the intent of taking 30 students and 4 chaperones from Walt Whitman High School for this experience.
There's a cruise component to this one, looks like. This is
Pretty
amazing.
fancy, this one. Stepping up their game.
Wow. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 4, approval and agreement between South Huntington and KinderCare. Motion. Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Ms. LaCara. Dr. Hender.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ziapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is an agreement between the South Huntington School District and KinderCare Learning Centers, LLC. This is for our current 10 students who are attending the KinderCare program and are South Huntington residents. It's been a long-awaited process, and I thank our law firm and KinderCare for working through and tying this all up.
Oh, wow. Great. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Great. Moving on to item number 5 is approval of a data privacy agreement. Motion. Mr. Scraggs, seconded by Ms. Clark. Dr. Hender again.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ziapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is a data privacy agreement with GimKit to ensure that all of our student privacy is kept compliant under Ed Law 2D.
Thank you. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Item number 6, approval of an agreement with the State University of New York at Stony Brook. Motion. Ms. Clark, second. Mr. Bronson. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Ziapetta. For the Board of Education's approval is this agreement between the district and Stony Brook University. The agreement outlines requirements for the New York State Teachers Program with regard to fieldwork and practicum requirements.
Okay. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 7, approval of a check from Long Island University for a mental health expansion project. Motion. Ms. Meyer, second. Mr. Scraggs, Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ziapetta. This generous donation was made to the South Huntington School District following our participation in the Long Island University Mental Health Professional Expansion Project. The project focused on providing scholarships to aspiring school-based mental health staff, has since lost funding and shifted its focus. But Dorinda Richburg, the LIU representative we worked with, remains committed to seeing our mental health supports flourish. The Student Services Department and Cabinet and the board would like to thank board member Sidney Joyner for bringing this to our district. The funds will be used to furnish wellness centers at our academy program here at the district office and our new pre-K center at Silas Wood.
Great. Thank you, Dr. D'Elia. Thank you, Mr. Joyner. Questions? All in favor? Mr. Joyner, would you like to say something?
Just want to say congratulations to Dan and his leadership on this. It was very instrumental. He's been my conduit, and I appreciate him.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Joyner. All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to item 8, nomination of the candidates for Western Suffolk BOCES Board of Education. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. This is to nominate Mr. Robert Scheid and Jeanette Santos for re-election to the Board of Western Suffolk BOCES. And it's been our tradition for some reason, for going back many years, that we nominate those candidates, so it's interesting. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on to item number 9. This is the adoption of board policies. We have Board Policy 8050, which is the use of service animals. We have a revised Board Policy 8334 regarding school district issued credit cards, and then the abolishment of Board Policy 3210, visitors to schools. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. This is continuing work of our policy committee. The first policy, 8050, describes the use of service animals on property and the conditions that must be satisfied for a service animal to be approved. And then we are making revisions to the school district issued credit card policy with respect to the individuals that may have a school district issued credit card and certain procedures and requirements for those that are issued that credit card. And then we are abolishing 3210 visitors to the school because that policy is redundant and incorporated in other policies. And we'll have many more policies to come. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Item 10, approval for attendance at the 2026 School Law Conference. Some really good topics for myself and Deputy Superintendent Smith. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Ms. Clark. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Next, we have the recommendations for placements by the committees on special education and preschool special education. Dates listed December, January, and February. Motion. Ms. Clark, second. Mr. Bronson. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Personnel schedules are listed, actually not that many today. We have scheduled 6, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, and 22. Is there a motion? Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. All in favor? Any opposed? We have no committee reports, future meetings. Our next meeting will be back here. We continue our budget work session. Then we don't have another meeting until April, where we'll adopt the budget, and then May 6th is the public hearing of the budget. Comments by board members. Mr. Scragg.
Yes, I just want to congratulate Mr. Lombardo and his team in Student Services. Last night, they hosted a transitions meeting here at the district office. They had a wonderful turnout. Parents who were just coming to see what happens to their student when they head into a new building. I think it was one of the best turnouts in the many years I've been coming to them. So congratulations. Thank you for taking care of our parents and the students in that area.
Thank you, Mrs. Gregg. Other comments by board members? I have a couple. Just want to thank Countrywood for hosting their annual readathon. I know many members of the board attended. It was really, it's great. It was last Friday. Opportunity to read to kindergartners, first graders, second graders, and what a start to the day. Once you do that, like, you have to smile the rest of the day. So it was awesome. I had a great class too. So they made me read them a couple books, and they all wanted to give me a hug. So it was very sweet. And this might be stealing somebody's thunder, but congratulations to the girls varsity basketball team. They will go for the county championship on Friday night at 8 o'clock at Stony Brook University, and this is the 4th straight year that they're in the Suffolk County Championship. That's a really, really impressive accomplishment. So, and if they win, it'll be 3 out of 4 years winning the county championship. So, great job. All right, Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, I'd like to offer my congratulations to the Walt Whitman 2 seniors, Cheyenne Siddiqui, our valedictorian, and Jada Tintara, our salutatorian for the class of 2026. Very proud of them. Look for the celebrations to come. Also, I'd like to congratulate Walt Whitman High School science teachers, Aisha Bockard and Ralph Miranda, as they have joined the esteemed list of educators across the state, earning the title of Master State Teacher of New York. So congratulations to both of them. Proud of them and their great work that they do. Also this Friday, yes, we have the county championship, but there's something before that that is pretty big. I think we almost need to build an arena, so maybe the facilities committee can talk about that, because that's the only way we're going to fit all the people that are interested in coming. So I'd like to thank Mr. Scragg and his team for all the work that they've done. And also I want to thank all the employees that are taking part in this event, all the hours that they're donating to this wonderful activity that brings so much joy to the community. They need to be heard as well. And thank you to all of them for putting in that extra time for what I know will be a wonderful lip sync this Friday. So great, too. I'm going to try to cut myself into two to get to two different places, but I can't wait to announce the winner Friday night. And also, as Ms. Enderly mentioned, we do have Stream Saturday on this Saturday coming up at Maplewood. And this has been, I think, I don't know how many years in a row we've done it, but it's been a long time and it's well attended, and we look forward to showing off the technology and all the great things that we're learning at the elementary level. And that is my report.
Thank you, Dr. D'Elia. Now we will turn to the incomparable Lucy Maniatis. Lucy.
This thing always likes to break on me. I'm sorry. Anyway, I will be at Lip Sync Battle, and I will be one of the student commentators for the night, so I can't wait to cheer you all on and maybe make fun of some of you. I would never do that. I'm just kidding. Okay. The Whitman Blood Drive is this Friday throughout the school day. Seniors take on the role of being blood drive captains, and many students will get involved and give blood. Whitman is one of the few high schools that is considered a high donor high school because we raise over 100 pints each year. St. Baldrick's is taking place throughout the district on March 10th, starting after school. This is such a great organization that South Huntington has participated in for years, collecting hair for wigs and donating money to cancer research. International Night is taking place at Whitman on March 12th at 7 p.m. to showcase diversity and the different cultures in our community. I look forward to this night every year because it's so interesting to see all the different cultures that make up our school and see how they love to share their culture with the rest of the district. After the show, there are several food items that are sold from a variety of different cultures, and I mean it when I say this, the food is truly amazing. So go check that out after. Whitman is hosting a club fair for all the 8th graders at Stimson on Friday, March 13th to visit the 80-plus clubs that are at our high school. This is a great opportunity for the students to get a sense of what they want to join when they're freshmen and give them a head start on getting acclimated to high school. The Spring College Fair for 10th and 11th graders is taking place March 11th during school hours for these students to start looking into colleges and preparing for their future. Next weekend, Stimson and Silas have their production of Beetlejuice Jr. It has been so amazing watching them develop the show into what it is, and I can't wait to see their performance. So come and support the theater program within our middle school. And parent-teacher conferences for Birchwood and Maplewood are taking place March 23rd and are taking place on March 24th for Countrywood and Oakwood. That is it.
Thank you, Lucy. All right, we're now moving into our public comment period of the night. We are about to begin that. If any residents or taxpayers or employees wish to speak at this time, please sign up at the computer located in the back of the room, or I'll call you up individually. State law does not require the Board of Education to hold a public comment period during our meetings, but we have chosen to do so because we believe it is very important to hear from our community members. School district policy, however, restricts public comment to district residents, taxpayers, and employees. Please be advised that should you choose to submit written comments to the Board of Education in lieu of speaking during the public comment portion, that is also an option. Please be further reminded that the Board of Education is not permitted to address personnel or student matters in public and cannot engage in discussions concerning any such matter or engage in any back and forth dialogue regarding these issues. The Board of Education President reserves the right to ask an individual not following our policies and protocols or being disruptful or disruptive to end his or her comments and enforce these policies. In the event that an audience member does not abide by these policies and disrupts the board's ability to conduct its business, the board may elect to adjourn or recess the meeting or take other appropriate actions. Would anyone like to address the Board of Education at this time that hasn't done so? Okay, let's get everybody off. Take a motion to go into executive session then to discuss a matter of personnel compensation. Ms. Clark, seconded by Mr. Scragg. All in favor? Any opposed? Be well, everyone. Thank you.